What's up, everybody? This is Gina Ifoe, the one and only African superstar. I first want to say Afishapa, happy holidays to my audience. For those of you guys celebrating and doing festivities and all of that, I wanted to do this unpopular opinions to kind of address something that I see at this time of year every year. So I'm going to get into it, but I do want to first shout out all the customers of the AfricanSuperstar.com. Much love to you guys. Please make sure that you head over and check out the website for your apparel purchases, bags, swimwear, whatever. We got you. So big shout outs to you guys. Also, big shout outs to our members only. Those of you that are designated by the circle next to your name, you can also join members only by clicking the join next to subscribe, and there's a link in the box below. And last but not least, all of the African superstar music lovers. We have new music coming out on New Year's Day. So, like another week or so, we will have new music, a new album, video, and all that dropping New Year's Day. Today, I want to talk about being alone and or doing things alone is not as bad as it seems. Naturally, during the holidays, many families come together, people will travel, whatever, to celebrate the holidays, Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, whatever. And unfortunately, and I think much more popularly than previous generations, you see a lot of people that are going to spend holidays alone, or people that don't have families, people that don't have children, or maybe they're divorced, or whatever the case may be. Or you're living in the international community like myself, so you are not around a lot of your friends and family, and so on and so forth. Obviously, I think sometimes there's like a lot of pity that goes along with people that are alone, or people that have to do things alone. People will look at you and say, oh my goodness, where's your husband? Where's your kids? Where's your family? I've received a number of texts from friends. Well, how are you going to spend the holidays? And this and that and the other. So I really want to talk about this today. First and foremost, I want to say, me personally, I'm not a huge holiday person. I've never been a huge holiday person. They've actually been kind of draining, kind of annoying, a bit of an inconvenience for me sometimes. When the holidays come, businesses are shut, and you need to go to the bank, you need to do this and that. Like, if you have a day off from work or whatever, you're thinking, okay, great, I can take care of a couple of these things. I want to go here, I want to go there, and it's shut. So that's always been very annoying to me. I think also the holidays can be a really stressful time because people are trying to provide this stereotypical image of what the holiday looks like. And it puts a lot of unnecessary stress on people, both, emotionally and financially. We see people every year going broke for Christmas, for instance, buying gifts for people. Or what they do here in Ghana is when they travel back from the West, they want to show this image that they're rich and they've made it. And, so they come here and spend lots of money and bring lots of gifts. And in reality, they know that's not how they're really living, but that is what they want to provide to people. In reality, from my opinion, being alone in certain situations, doing things alone, traveling alone, it's really not as bad as people make it seem, to be honest with you. And I was thinking to myself this morning how actually peaceful this day has started out to be. I woke up, I was lying in my bed watching some stuff on YouTube, and I was just like, this is not bad as people make it seem. When you have a lot of people in your world, you have to do a lot of accommodating towards these people, making sure they're happy, making sure that there's no issues. If there are issues, resolving the issues. There's a lot of compromise that goes in. Like, for instance, maybe with living arrangements, for instance. Maybe you're someone who, likes to be very comfortable in the house, not wear many clothes, things like that. If you have a roommate or whatever, you have to be mindful of that. Um, all these little nuances, when you travel, it's like, maybe you want to do this. Maybe you want to go to the beach, or maybe your travel buddy wants to go to the museum, and it's like conflict. Being alone and doing things alone is really not as bad as it seems, especially if you are a leader, a prolific person, because maybe your interests, very few people will have the same interest that you have. So finding that camaraderie among your peers may be extremely difficult because of the type of interest that you have. So the thought I actually was having this morning, more specifically, was I'm waking up to beautiful sunshine in Ghana. I am living the life that I want to live, despite all the challenges, despite all the ups and downs, and having to be really creative of how to facilitate it. But I don't think I would be able to do this with a large group of people, you know. Um, Even many of my family members can't accompany me on this journey, but it's really still nice. I still really love it, to be honest. And for the fact that I don't really get into the holidays and it's not a big deal to me, um, it's nice to not deal with the stress. You know what I mean? It's nice to not deal with the stress. I see people posting on my Facebook the pajama pictures and the snow and the Christmas tree, and I'm just like, it's just not that appealing to me. I remember when I lived in the West and I, was dealing with cold winters, one of the things I thought was, how nice would it be to be able to just jet set away and go somewhere warm for the holidays, and get away from all this chaos. And I'm doing precisely that several years later. So, you know, it's an unpopular opinion because society will try to pity people in these situations. Oh my goodness, check on your strong friends. And at the end of the day, a lot of us are just, okay, we're cool. We're all cool. Because sometimes interacting with other people is very, very, very tedious and draining, you know. Um, in my case, sometimes, people are able to get a lot of resources or information or emotional support from me, and they can't even reciprocate that to me. So many of the interactions I have are not reciprocal, unfortunately, just because people don't have much to offer. They're coming to me to ask me questions or help them move forward in life, and it's like I can also ask them, hey, what would you do about this? What would you do about that? And, various situations. Big shout outs to Free Wise. Thanks for the shout outs. Merry Christmas to you. Happy holidays to my audience. I'm just talking about this today because obviously I know there's a lot of people out there around the world that are going to be bringing in the holidays alone. They're going to be pursuing their dreams alone. They're going to be going into the international community or migrating to new countries alone. They have no spouse, they have no kids. And a lot of these people are content with that. As I reflect on this year, this extremely challenging year for me personally, I'm full of gratefulness. I'm so happy that I managed to get through the challenging things. I'm so happy that I was able to create a productive year. You know what I mean? I achieved my goals as far as what I wanted to do with my music. I'm happy, I'm healthy, I'm sound. I'm bringing it in Ghana, which is like where I want to be. Later today, I'll head on to the beach. It's my normal Sunday routine. You know what I'm saying? We just moving forward. And, I'm optimistic for the new year. But yeah, it's not as bad as it seems. And I think if some of you guys that may be struggling with loneliness, begin to kind of delve inside of yourself and realize that other people are not the solution to your life. Other people are not going to solve your problems. Other people cannot minister to your deepest emotional needs. All of that needs to come from you, And once you have done that legwork, you will realize that people are more like toppings to the cake. You know, they're more like condiments to the burger or whatever. It's like, any of you guys, big shots, I got a few of you guys here. Any of you guys ever gone to, you know, like a fast food restaurant and you ask them for something extra, like extra pickles or extra ketchup or whatever, and they forget it? Let me see a number one. If you guys have ever gone to like drive through fast food, whatever you ask them for, you ask them for extra barbecue sauce, they have forgot it. Let me see a number one. Big shout outs to my family today in the chat room, African Superstar family. If, for instance, you order something like a burger and you don't get the extra onions, you don't get the extra pickles, 9 times out of 10, especially if it's like a drive-through situation, you're going to just go on and just be like, damn, they forgot the extra mushrooms, but you're still going to eat the burger. That's how you have to structure yourself. I'm grateful from all of these situations I've experienced up until now. Thank you so much for Sweet Tea for participating. So Sweet Tea knows what I'm talking about. Okay, so basically, you still got the burger. Okay, you wanted to eat the burger. That's why you went to McDonald's. That's why you went to Jack in the Box. That's why you went to Burger King, whatever, wherever you went, Steak and Shake. Okay, they didn't give you the extra pickles, but you're still going to eat the burger. Okay, now that's a lot different than you going there and then you say, I want a chicken burger, and you get 2 pieces of bread with no meat. Okay, for that, Sweet Tea and I would definitely turn back around and say, okay, what kind of burger is this? And we'll go back, either get our money back or ask them to make another sandwich or whatever. Okay, you have to be a whole number. Okay, you've got to be complete in yourself and understand that the people that are coming into your life or the situations that you're in, they are condiments, they are toppings, they're not the whole thing. Which means that if they come and go, you will be able to function without those people or those circumstances. That means if you lose your job, it's not the end of it for you. That means if you get a divorce, or someone passes away, or whatever the situation is, because in reality, we come into this world alone, we're going to leave alone. We may have people that join us temporarily on the journey. Okay, you might have people you have a relationship that lasts 10 years. You have obviously your kids. You raise up your kids. At a point, they become adults, they move on, go to university, get married, move out, blah blah blah. In our world, it's highly unlikely that you'll keep the same career for your full working days or whatever. So I think we need to change this mindset and understand, what? I may have to embark on this journey alone to find the deeper meaning of self and or achieve my wildest dreams. However, that is not negative. That is positive. That is realistic. And it's normal. It's normal. I see around the holidays, everybody's like, oh my God, be sensitive to those, people that's like no families. I mean, the reality, look, we can get up and do what we want to do. A lot of us are in that position. You have that flexibility when you don't have many things to consider or many people to value their input. You can literally make the decision, okay, this is what I want to do. This is what I'm going to do to achieve it. And then go for it. You don't have to hear stories about people not being ready and people not having money and all their other excuses. When you get ready to do something, you do it. And I think that's a luxury. Now, don't get me wrong. Obviously, having people around is a lot of fun. Sometimes, it's enjoyable to have people, their company, have children, have a spouse, have a family, blah, blah, blah. But if you find yourself and you're not in that situation, be also rejoiced, because, be grateful. You now have a full slate of the things you want to do. I know, for instance, many of you guys know that I'm divorced. Okay. So I remember when I was married, as you know, as a good wife, you need to kind of run things by your husband, especially important decisions, things that are going to cost money or whatever. You need to kind of bring them to his attention. And I remember a couple times me bringing some things to him that I wanted to do, and he was kind of like, "Nah, let's try this, let's do this, let's do that." And me being a team player, I said, "Okay, let's, that's how it goes. You're not just on your own anymore." I realized that from that point, that we were no more together, the extraordinary things that I have done and experienced since having the freedom to do what I want to do and customize my life is amazing. I think that you got to change your perspective on a lot of things sometimes, guys. You're looking at your life, you're dissatisfied with it, you feel like you haven't achieved, you haven't done all the things that you wanted to do. Sometimes I think you need to reflect and look at yourself and say, man, I have really done a really great job. Look at all the things that I've done. Look at how I overcame these challenges. Look at how I'm bringing my dreams into reality. And pat yourself on the back, man, because for real, and as my mom used to call it, my mom, she is a Bermudian. So born and raised in Bermuda, the island of Bermuda. And one thing they had at their schools there it's called a prefect, and it's basically like an honor student. So they would have the head girl and the head boy. Shout outs to all my Caribbean viewers. Those of you guys in the UK, you know the terminology. So my mom was head girl, so she tells me about that sometimes, about how she, was the top of her class. And she used to say, it's not brag, it's just facts. What's up, Nigerian Natural? Thanks for stopping by, sweetie. Happy holidays to you. Merry Christmas and all that. Afisha Pa Ganafo. To all my Ghanaians here and abroad, I love you. Big shout outs to everybody. What's up? What's up? Big shout outs to my hometown in Columbus, Ohio. My friends and family out there. Yes. And all my viewers worldwide. Today, I'm just keeping it real. Being alone, doing things alone, it's really not that bad. I don't need people to feel sorry for me. Like, oh, Gina, what are you doing today? I am chilling. I'm about to go to the beach. My normal Sunday activities, and I'm delighted. I don't think there's any other place I'd rather be right now, to be honest. I don't want to be in the West where it's cold. Sorry. I heard they're having a big, huge snowstorm in the Midwest. My girlfriend Nicola called me last night, or texted me yesterday, and said they're supposed to be getting a lot of big snow. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. I just don't want to do that. I'm where I want to be. And I'm fortunate I'm going to be able to do what I want to do. Probably if I had a, room full of people and doing the whole Christmas dinner and all that stuff, I couldn't probably go to the beach today, which is what I want to do today. So, yeah, I think I lost my train of thought. But anyway, I think, it's like, it's not, I was talking about how my mom was head girl. So basically, my mom would always say, it's not brag, it's just fact. Okay. When you have achieved things in your life, do not allow people to take that from you. And do not allow people to make you feel bad because you've achieved and because you're actually trying and because you're actually like progressive in your life. We have such a weird culture nowadays. Okay. People like to big up the struggle life. They'd like to big up people that are degenerates and like ruining their lives. And then people that are actually progressive and innovative and bold and speak truth, we like to suppress those people. Look at those people like they're negative. Look at those people like they're arrogant. When you look at your track record of things that you've achieved, that's not arrogance. In the words of my mom, not brag, just fact. I'm just saying what I've done. I'm just acknowledging what I've done. And in a world where low self-esteem is rampant, okay, and low self-esteem is synonymous with underachievers. I gotta say it, guys. If you're someone who is stricken with low self-esteem, it means that you're not operating to your full potential. That's all that it means. And I guarantee if you started setting some goals and working to achieve those goals, your self-esteem would increase. Because people that are confident, there are some people that are delusional. All right, because they have this kind of like bravado and they're not actually doing anything or whatever. But when you are someone who achieves, it does give you confidence. Shout outs to anybody in the room. If we have any athletes or former athletes, let me see a number two. Big shout outs to the family on today. Happy holidays from the African superstar. I hope you guys are enjoying whatever you're planning to do. I know it's probably early in America. It's the morning here in Ghana and in Europe. If we have any former athletes in here, let me just see a number two. Okay, when you win, okay, like let's say you play for the best football team, you play for the best volleyball team, you're on the swim team, you're a fencer, whatever you do. Okay, unless something's wrong with you, nobody likes losing. Nobody likes to go to the competition and lose. Okay, people want to go to the competition and win. Sometimes there's even like these boxing matches and people like talk a little stuff before the match. Oh yeah, I'm gonna knock you out. I'm gonna knock you out on the second round. All you do is talk, blah, blah, blah. And there's this like hype up to the match or hype up to the game or whatever. Okay. When you win, especially if everybody thought you was gonna lose or you win in that little bit of time. What's up? Afisha Pa. It's an amazing feeling. It's an amazing feeling to win. I'm sorry, guys. My eyes are watering crazy because it's like the beginning of Hamilton here in Ghana. It's like the dusty season is coming, and my eyes are crazy watering. Winning will boost your self-esteem. And I don't know why so many people cannot deduce this. If you have low self-esteem, let me talk to you more specifically. We have a culture that likes to revel in misery. Okay, that's the reality. People like to revel in misery. Let's look at this here. Doing things alone is really bad. I know firsthand. I'm older also. You're still young, my sister. Reveling in misery. Okay, the glass is always half full or the glass is always half empty. It just depends on the way that you look at it. As someone, like I've told you guys many times on this channel, I'm a leader. You might think that I'm young, but I've been alone for a long time. I'd say at least 20 years now. Ever since I became an adult and had to actually start being the energy behind my own aspirations. When you're a child, you're growing up in your parents' house, they prepare your food for you, they get your clothes ready for school, they wake you up, they might even take you to school, pick you up. They facilitate your whole life. When you become an adult, it's all about you being that driving energy. Okay, the fact of the matter is my tastes, my aspirations are very different than the people around me. Okay, and that means I got to go for it when I got to go for it. I definitely can't speak from a senior perspective. However, I do have a big auntie here in Ghana who I just celebrated with last week, her 71st birthday. She moved to Ghana by herself in 2020. She's extremely outgoing. She gets up every day. She tries new restaurants. She explores Ghana. She, looks for information. She loves decorating her house. So she shops for her house and puts her house together, and it's really comfortable. And, I'm so inspired by her. I think I've mentioned, but the point is, it's all about your perspective. I see my current situation. I'm very grateful and I'm blessed, especially with the connotation that many people that are having many in their vicinity, that is simply a farce. If we want to be honest, people are in struggle marriages. People have strained relationships with their friends and family, their children. It's more of a survival thing. It's not an enjoyment thing. It's not an endearing thing. I scrolled through my Facebook this morning and I saw several of my friends that are in marriages, and I know the behind the scenes of the marriages, you know? So meanwhile, they're posting the family pictures in their, you know, Christmas attires and the pajamas, and they're all smiles. Kids open up presents, but I know what's happening behind closed doors. So I know that the projection is not actually synonymous with the reality. So in that case, if having people in your vicinity is not genuine, you're not really happy about it, and you're not really enjoying it, then in that case, you might as well be by yourself. So then you can just do what you want to do, and you don't have to be faking it, you know? But our society revels in misery. And our society does not promote people to access the tools to change their dynamics. In reality, if you're an older person and you're still in good health, okay, you're still in sound mind, this is might be your last opportunity for you to do your wildest dreams. If that's traveling, if that's your hobby, if that's, you know, mentoring young people, if that's buying certain things or having certain experiences, this is the time. You know, your kids are out of the nest. Maybe your spouse is not around with you, or you guys have divorced. You have that liberty. I think, you know, people that are by themselves need to understand they have liberty. They have liberty. You know, it's an amazing feeling. So I think, you know, although many people, um, you know, they just feel so helpless. Big shout outs to Coach Kiaria. Hi, good. It's good to see you, sweetie. It's been a minute. What's up? What's up? Happy holidays. I totally agree. You know, I totally agree. And it's just so fake. You know, it's just so fake. And I like to look to self for clarity. You know, I realize that, like I gave the example earlier, if you go to the drive-through and you order the burger and you don't get the extra pickles you asked for or the extra barbecue sauce or whatever, you're still going to eat the burger. Okay. Obviously, you wanted the barbecue, you wanted the mushrooms, you wanted the onions. They didn't give it to you. You're in a hurry. You're going to eat the burger. Okay. When you're a complete unit, you know, a lot of these things become erroneous. And that's why our culture doesn't want us to become whole and complete. When you realize that you are complete, you don't spend your years longing and wishing and this and that and the other. You know, I had a conversation yesterday with one of my friends here in Ghana, and he was saying to me how, you know, he's feeling lonely because it's the holidays. He doesn't have a girlfriend and all that stuff. And I said, well, you know, it's relative, because you could have a partner that you don't like, which a lot of our friends are in that situation. Huh? Do you guys know people like that? Hey, a lot of people are in situations. They got kids with people they don't like. They're married to people they don't like. They're in business with people they don't like. And it's a struggle. It's a strain. It's draining. Okay. So I told him, I said, yeah, you might not have somebody special right now, but you know, you have your health, you have your mobility, you're young, you're strong, you know, you're achieving your goals. He told me he's doing a new like online IT course to get some expertise in this, whatever he's doing. And I'm like, you know, this is what I'm saying. You know, because if I were to have this perspective, guys, okay, let's be real. I just got, and I'm not trying to embarrass you, because a lot of people have this mindset of woe is me, you know, blah, 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 blah. Okay, you know, and I would say that I don't know if you have access to young people, you know, if you have grandchildren or nephews, or, you know, maybe just a mentee that you could pass your information to. It would give you some sense of appreciation, some sense of being needed. I think that's so valuable at a point when our seniors begin to, you know, when you become a senior and things like that, to kind of pay it forward. Because the kind of questions I ask my big auntie, you know, the answers that she gives me is very profound to me. You know, She shared with me the other day, we had a long conversation when I was with her. She told me what it was like back in the 60s, you know what I'm saying, during the civil rights movement. She told me all kind of things about relationships and like the nature of people. And I just found it so interesting. So I find that no matter which stage you are in life, you still have a valuable function, but it's all in your perspective. I don't feel like I'm missing, to be honest, I don't feel like I'm missing out today. I don't. You know, actually, I feel like going into this new year that I have less baggage than ever, because a lot of the baggage that I've had around me is kind of like dead weight, where I really want to just spring forward. I really just want to go and achieve. And then I kind of have a couple people around me that's like not on board. And so it kind of slows you down a bit. Going into the new year, I don't have that. It's just me right now. You know, it's just me. So I'm able to get more accomplished, I believe, because this year has been a testament to that. Despite all of the loss I've had per se, many of my personal relationships have been challenged this year and things like that. At the same time, because I remain focused, I was able to achieve all my goals going into 2022. So I'm not into all this like trivial consumer world that is promoted. People don't even like each other. People are not even kind to each other. People don't even operate in the sense of a community. But when December hits, just for the perspective of consumerism, now we're supposed to be giving. Now we're supposed to be thoughtful. Now we're supposed to take care of our elderly. And now we're supposed to be worried about people are alone. People are alone don't just mean maybe you're concerned in December. Hello? What about all the other months of the year? Are you guys worried about them then? Huh? Why don't people that are all about all these things ever put their money where their mouth is? That's what I always wonder. Because I've seen that here on YouTube. I've had thousands of people watching my channel. I've been contacted by, probably hundreds of you guys currently, questions about Ghana, questions about this and that. But out of that, I wonder how many of those people actually apply the information? How many of the people are very serious and passionate about making it happen? I encourage you guys to be comfortable with yourself, whatever situation you're in. Okay. And if you are realistically looking at yourself and you're not satisfied with it, like I said, if you're someone who's dealing with depression or low self-esteem, the answer to that, okay, the antithesis to that is achievement. That is how you build your confidence. That is how you elevate yourself out of the misery. Okay. Now, if you are someone who's lonely, like I said, as a senior citizen, then, if you're serious about it, like I said, there are things you can do. If you're still in good health, you're able to communicate, there are things you can do. I know many, seniors that are very, very active, including my big auntie here. She's 71 years old. So I'm like, if she can world travel on her own, move to a new country on her own. She just moved to Ghana 2 years ago. Okay. She was in her late 60s when she did that. Her children live in the US. They have not been here to Ghana yet, So, it's about your mindset, guys. But I encourage, I personally love fraternizing with older people. I've always been someone who's interested in the way forward. I'm very interested in the way forward. And unlike a lot of you people who don't want to hear what has preceded you, you want to, if somebody tries to advise you on something, you just want to discount their message because you're just like, no, you don't know what it's like. It's 2022, you're old, you don't know. But the reality is, like, there's nothing new under the sun. And a lot of these things that we deal with, especially socially, are human reactions, and they're all the same. That's what my auntie told me. That's what I kind of knew, just from my snapshot of life. I knew that people are what they are. But she confirmed it for me, like, yeah, you know what I mean? It's been like this for blah, 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 so many decades now. She said, oh, we romanticize relationships of the past. That's another topic we talked about, because there's all these people that's like, oh yeah, back in the days, family was like this. Why don't marriages last, and blah, blah, blah. And she shed light. She said, hey, we romanticize that. I was there. I lived during that time, the 60s, where people romanticize and this and that. And, women were dealing with a lot of stuff in their marriages, she said. A lot of abuse, a lot of infidelity. And they put up with it because there was a stigma, or women didn't have a lot of opportunities, a lot of educational opportunities. It was more difficult for them to survive on their own. So they had to basically put up with maybe unhappy homes and things like that. And, she told me that when she went to get her first house in the 70s, they didn't want to give a mortgage to a woman. They saw that women were not stable enough to have their own mortgage and provide for their own families, whatever the situation may be. Very interesting things, but these are conversations that you can get a wealth of knowledge from the generation that has preceded us, So I think, again, being alone, doing things alone, it's not as bad as it seems, guys. If you are going through that season, because just like my friend I spoke to yesterday, he was just so down in the dumps. Oh my gosh, I don't have anybody, and this and that and the other. And I'm like, okay, well, in my world, if you have somebody, the person should be valuable to you. The person should be an asset to you. You should look forward to having that person in your life. They should make your life better by being there. If you were all good when they came onto the scene, and then you got to be struggle life. Now, don't get me wrong. I understand. Like I said, I've been married before. I've had a myriad of relationships. Relationships go through seasons, and you need to be resilient through those seasons. But I'm talking about your life has been messed up since this person has come along. That is not a wise additive to your situation. I'm just going to be honest. And again, because of some of you people having low self-esteem, you feel like, well, it's better to have somebody than not have somebody. I don't buy that. Sorry. If you're not high quality, then it's not better to have somebody than to have somebody. No. I recently watched, probably a few months ago, I watched a story of, this Black Panther who was a spy, basically. And he got involved with the Black Panther Party in Chicago, kind of like as an FBI informant. And he rose high in the Panthers. He was like, in the inner circles of the people that were running it, that chapter. And he was constantly selling out, the leader and things like that. And eventually led to this leader being shot and killed, FBI raid in the house. And I think about sometimes, the danger of having people in very close proximity to you that don't have your well wishes in mind. And the question remains is like, yeah, we like to have people around, but it's about the quality of the people that are around. If you have somebody around you that's detrimental to your situation, that's the worst thing. Honestly, that's the worst thing. Think, here in on the continent, the way that some terrible things happen when it comes to like relationships, friendships, jealousy, this kind of thing is poisoning. Okay. People will poison people's food. In America, they just bring out the guns if they want to take somebody out. But over here, they might put something in your food, and, you might gradually get sick or whatever. And you got to realize that those people that has happened to them, okay, it was somebody in their proximity that administered that poison. If I'm not even going to give this example, but if a person, for instance, wants to poison Bob down the road. Okay. If they're like a mile away from Bob and they throw poison into the air, hoping that the wind comes and carries it to Bob and gets it into his breathing space and all that, the likelihood of Bob being poisoned by that method is very, very unlikely. Okay. But if you put the poison in Bob's drink and then Bob drinks it, the probability of Bob being affected by that poison, maybe potentially dying, is much more higher. So what that means is, what I'm just trying to get through you guys is, mind in this situation. All right. It's better to have either good company, hello, or no company. If, I mean, I haven't really seen, correct me if I'm wrong, the middle ground growing up. I've seen things be, to one polar opposite or the other. I've always wanted the middle ground. I've always wanted a little bit of this and a little bit of that, but I'm not sure that that actually exists. Okay. I think that things are either or. And in that perspective, it's better to have either a quality associations, a circle of family and friends that you love, that you get along with, or whatever, they're good for you, or in some cases just nobody at all, and just go and do your own thing. So I know, again, this is an unpopular opinion. I'm sharing it on Christmas Day because I'm going to be spending my Christmas Day prospectively. I have a lot of friends here in Ghana, and they always, I don't know why, but they always worry about me being on my own sometimes or whatever, especially around the holidays. So typically they might, call me out, or they might see what I'm doing. But right now, my game plan is to go to the beach in about an hour or two and go do the thing I love absolutely the most in the world: sunbathe at the beachside. That's what I want to do today. Celebrate my holiday in the place that I want to be. I'm in my life's dream. I'm doing what I wanted to do, what I used to dream about, even just a few years ago. Man, I just wish I was somewhere warm, these cold winters, and blah blah blah. And I will empathize with you guys and say that I do understand when it's cold, it and it's dark, it's a lot harder on your psychological well-being, especially if you are alone, because you feel like, damn, I'm alone. And then, in the West, they really heavily promote all this holiday stuff. And, you're looking online, you see your friends with their little pajama pictures, and you're just like, oh my gosh, I'm the only one who doesn't. You're not the only one who doesn't. I would encourage you, okay, if that's the situation, if the cold weather is adding extreme depression to you, then you need to change that. If you're not in a position to live abroad, maybe you can travel abroad during winter months or whatever. If you're a baller, if you're a senior, maybe you have a winter home. You go to Florida, you go to Mexico, you go to the continent, you go to Southern Europe, Spain, or whatever, just for a reprieve, because cold weather is hard on everybody. If you are alone and it's bothering to you, excuse me, then perhaps you join an organization or something like that. Maybe that might help. You get into a fitness club. There are some people that join like, graduate sororities and these kind of things. Oh, goodness, sorry. Guys, this Harmington is getting me today. Yeah. Whew. So, just be proactive. Be proactive. I don't think, looking at my big auntie, I don't think that I'll ever lose my perspective on life, which is go and get it. Go do what you want to do. Go and get it, and don't delay. That's my perspective. My perspective is, don't expect other people to accompany you on this journey. Don't expect them to do anything for your personal journey. It's your personal journey. It's your journey. You have the responsibility of living it out. And People are going to come along and do very helpful things for you and offer support, maybe donate to your cause. Make sure you appreciate them. Make sure you say thank you. Make sure you, reciprocate that favor or whatever it is. I'm going to have to wrap up, guys. Excuse me. Because the Harmattan is like a dry season here in Ghana, and it makes my eyes water and makes me sneeze. So it's hitting me. But yeah, these are my thoughts today. So for any of you guys, because I do realize some of you guys are like, oh, Gina, what are you doing for the holidays? Are you okay? Da, da, da. Well, look, I'm good. I'm fine. I'm a little sneezy. But apart from that, it's all good. I'm going to head out to the beach soon. New Year's Day, I'm dropping new music. So I'm looking forward to that. You know what I mean? I've actually made my own thing to look forward to. It's like, okay, it's New Year's. Let's go ahead and pop this off cricket. Get it right, get it popping, drop new music, bring out a new music video. Forward ever, backwards never, in the words of the prolific Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, Ghana's first president. Okay? We going forward. Okay? So Afisha Pa, again, my Ghana foe, that is how you say basically like season's greeting and treat. Afisha Pa, yes. And happy holidays to the rest of you guys. Merry Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, whatever else you guys do, whatever. I hope you enjoy, you're safe, your comings and goings and all of that stuff. And, the next markers, we're going to bring in a new year together. So that's excellent. Until we meet again, stay black and true. If you ain't black, just stay true.